Most of us wash our hands dozens of times a day. After we cook, after we clean, after we touch the world outside. But there's one specific time each month when washing your hands isn't just about hygiene. It's about energy. And for those who believe in subtle shifts and quiet rituals, this one small act on the 15th of every month can do something you might not expect. It can help unblock the stagnant energy around your finances and open a new flow toward abundance. It sounds like a stretch, but pause for a moment. Think of all the times money felt close but slipped through. Opportunities that brushed your life but didn't stay. What if your hands, the very tools you use to earn, to give, to care, were also holding on to more than just daily residue? What if they were carrying emotional clutter, unspoken fears, unconscious resistance to receiving? And what if just once a month you could wash not just the surface but the energy underneath? In today's video, we're going to explore a quiet practice that many have turned to, not out of superstition, but out of a need to reconnect with something deeper. A bowl of warm water, a pinch of something natural, a few minutes of honest intention. That's all it takes. There's no cost, no complexity, and nothing to sell you. Just a simple act done at the right time that could bring a subtle shift in how you feel, and perhaps how wealth begins to move toward you. Because the 15th isn't just a date, it's a doorway, and your hands, clean, open, and ready, might be the key to walking through it. Let's begin. Part 1. Why the 15th isn't just another date. Most people move through the calendar without noticing the rhythm behind the numbers. The 15th is just the middle of the month, no holidays, no reason to circle it. But if you've ever felt like time passes without anything changing, like you're working hard but something invisible keeps your luck just out of reach, this date might matter more than you think. Not because of tradition or belief, but because of rhythm. Because even if you don't pay attention to the moon, your body does, your energy does. And the 15th, almost always aligned with the full moon, isn't just a date, it's a shift. There's something about that phase in the month when the moon is full, whether you look up at it or not. Sleep becomes lighter, thoughts linger longer, emotions swell and memories surface, uninvited but persistent. You might find yourself cleaning out drawers you've ignored for years, or calling someone you haven't spoken to in months. And all of it feels random until you realize you're responding to a kind of inner tide. The full moon doesn't demand attention, it draws it out of you. Quietly, steadily, it turns up the volume on whatever you've left unspoken or unresolved. This matters, not in a mystical sense, but in a personal one. Because when the moon is full, energy isn't just stronger, it's clearer, focused, direct. And if you choose to align with it, even in something as small as how you wash your hands that day, you're not casting spells. You're tuning in, you're saying, I know timing matters. That awareness alone can be the beginning of a shift. The 15th is not magic, but it is momentum. And momentum is what so many of us feel we've lost. We try, we push, we plan, and yet money feels delayed. Opportunities flicker in and out just past our fingertips. And underneath it all, a quiet question forms, is it me? Am I doing something wrong or missing something small? That's where this moment in the month becomes more than symbolic, because the full moon marks a peak, a culmination of energy that's been building since the month began. If the first week is about planting ideas and the second about growth, the 15th is the harvest, but only if you stop and recognize it. That's why this ritual, simple as it is, works best when tied to that date. Not because the moon will grant wishes, but because when you attach meaning to a moment, you show up differently. You become more intentional. And when your mind is quiet, when your body is still, and your hands are in warm water with something grounding and pure, that's when something opens, not in the sky, in you. There's a reason the 15th keeps coming up in old stories, in forgotten practices, in quiet habits passed between generations. People may not agree on what it means, but they return to it, again and again, not because they need more belief, but because they need more stillness. More pause, more space to say, this is the moment I choose to reset. And perhaps that's all this is, a reset. A moment in your month when you stop doing and start listening, not to anyone else, but to your own sense of timing, to your own inner signal that says, I'm ready to stop chasing and start allowing. Because allowing doesn't mean giving up. It means clearing the way, making space. And sometimes space is all luck has been waiting for. The 15th isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. But it's steady, recurring. And if you choose to treat it as a doorway, a brief, quiet pause before the second half of your month begins, you may find that things start flowing more easily. Not because life got easier, but because your resistance softened, your attention sharpened, your energy realigned. So next time the 15th appears on your calendar, pause. Don't make it a task. Don't turn it into pressure. Just light a candle, fill a bowl, hold your hands still. And remember, even something as ordinary as water feels different when you stop long enough to feel it. Let the 15th be your permission to begin again, gently, clearly, fully present. Part 2, set the space gently, simply. The space you choose matters, not because of what it looks like, but because of how it feels when you're in it. You don't need candles or crystals or incense unless those things bring you comfort. You don't need a meditation pillow, sacred music, or a view of the ocean. You need one thing, stillness, and not the kind that happens when the house is finally quiet. The kind you create on purpose for yourself. In a world that never stops, choosing to make space is no small act. It's powerful. It says, I matter enough to pause. That's where the shift begins, not in your hands, not in the water, but in that one choice to stop rushing just for a moment. Start with a bowl, any bowl. Ceramic, glass, metal. What matters is that it's clean, not just on the surface, but in what it holds. This bowl isn't for food, it's for energy, for memory, for renewal. Fill it with warm water. Not too hot, not too cold, just the kind of warmth that makes your hands relax the second they touch it. That alone can start to slow your breath. That alone can begin to change how you feel. Lay a towel nearby, light-colored if possible. White, cream, soft beige. These colors don't attract energy, they reflect clarity. They remind you of quiet mornings, fresh laundry, a new page. You'll use it later not just to dry your skin, but to seal in something you've just released. And choose your corner. It doesn't need to be sacred, it just needs to be yours. A spot by the window, a chair in the corner of the room, the kitchen table before anyone wakes up. What matters isn't the space, it's how present you are in it. What matters is that you've chosen this moment to stop moving, to step back from the noise and say, I am here now. Now, if you'd like to deepen the energy, you can add one small object beside your bowl, something with meaning. A coin that reminds you of what you're building. A key that symbolizes doors you're ready to open. A smooth stone that keeps you grounded when life feels too fast. These aren't props, they are anchors. They give shape to what you want to welcome in. And when your eyes rest on them, they bring your focus back to why you're here. Nothing in this space needs to be perfect. Not the lighting, not the setup, not the timing. This is not performance, it's presence. This isn't about creating a magical environment. It's about giving yourself permission to feel something quietly shift inside the place you already live. Too often we wait for the right moment to make space. When the house is clean, when no one needs us, when we're in a better mood, when the day feels slower. But the right moment rarely arrives. The real shift happens when you create it anyway, when you clear one small surface, light one small candle, take one deep breath, and begin anyway. Because when you do that, the space changes, not dramatically, not obviously, but subtly. You sit differently, you breathe deeper. Your mind starts to soften its grip on everything it's been holding. And when your body relaxes, your energy does too. That's the opening. That's the doorway. That's the difference between a routine and a ritual. This isn't about creating a sacred space. It's about treating your ordinary space like it already is, because it is. Your kitchen counter can be holy if you show up with care. Your bedside table can become a point of power if you place your attention there. You don't need to move to a retreat or fly to a mountain. You just need to decide, for these few minutes, this is where you meet yourself. And when you sit down with your bowl of warm water, towel by your side, and just enough quiet to hear your own breath, you'll feel it. The space around you will shift, not because anything changed, but because you did. That's when the ritual truly begins, not with the salt, not with the washing, but right here in the pause, in the stillness you chose, in the way you showed up for yourself even when you didn't have to. That's where energy moves. That's where wealth begins to notice you again. Not as someone trying to attract it, but as someone calm enough to receive. So create your space. Gently, simply, not because the ritual needs it, but because you do. Part 3, the 6 steps, a quiet ritual for loud results. Step 1, set your intention. Before your hands ever touch the water, the shift begins in your mind. This first step isn't about saying the right words or forcing yourself into a positive mood. It's about becoming honest, completely honest, about what you're ready to release and what you quietly long to receive. Setting an intention doesn't mean you're making a wish. It means you're naming what matters. You're deciding that for the next few minutes you won't pretend everything is fine if it isn't. You won't rush through the ritual to check it off a list. You'll meet yourself where you are, whether that's hopeful, tired, uncertain, or ready. Close your eyes. Take a breath that feels just a little deeper than usual. Let it reach your belly, and then, without needing to speak out loud, form a simple phrase in your mind. It doesn't have to be fancy or poetic. In fact, the simpler it is, more powerful it becomes. I am ready to let go. I release what no longer supports me. I open my hands to receive something better. I trust that what is mine will find me. This month I choose peace over pressure. Let that one line become your quiet anchor. Let it settle, not in your head, but somewhere lower, your chest, your hands, your breath. This is your compass. It will guide every motion that follows. Why is this step so important? Because without intention, a ritual becomes just another task. The salt becomes seasoning. The water becomes routine. But when your intention is clear, the ordinary becomes sacred. Not because it changed, but because you showed up with purpose. If you only take one thing from this entire practice, let it be this: your intention shapes your energy more than your effort ever could. So don't rush this. Don't try to get it perfect. Just pause and decide gently what you're ready to welcome in and what you're willing to release. That's how it starts. That's how it always starts. Step 2, hold the substance and let it hold what you release. This is the moment your hands make contact with something that looks simple, almost forgettable, but isn't. What you're about to hold isn't expensive. It isn't rare. It's probably already in your home, but that's what makes it so powerful. It's ordinary, and because it's ordinary, it doesn't get asked to carry meaning until now. Pick up a small amount, no more than a pinch or a scoop, and place it into your palm. Don't rush. Let your hand adjust to the texture, the temperature, the weight. Feel it not just physically, but energetically. Because in this moment, you're not just holding a substance. You're giving it a task. You're asking it to absorb something you're ready to stop carrying. Let this material, grainy, solid, imperfect, stand in for what has been too heavy inside of you. Let it take the weight you can't put into words. Worry about money. Exhaustion from giving more than you receive. Quiet resentment that never had a place to go. Fear you've done something wrong even when you haven't. Let the substance take that from your body, not all at once, but one breath at a time. This isn't a metaphor, it's muscle memory. Your hands have held everything in your life, your work, your phone, your family, your fatigue. They know how to grasp and grip and carry. But what they are learning now is how to let go. And that's not easy. Letting go requires trust, not in the universe or some unseen force, but in yourself. In your readiness to release what's been quietly draining you. Close your fingers around the substance and notice how even that small act makes your breath change. It grounds you. It centers you. You become less in your head and more in your body. And that's the shift. That's the point. You are using something real to move something invisible. You may not see the change, but you'll feel it. A softening, a quiet drop in pressure. Your shoulders lower, your jaw unclenches, your chest feels just a little more open. The substance is doing its work not because it's magical, but because it's been asked to, and because you're ready to let it. Now is the time to name in your mind what you want this substance to hold for you. A thought, a pattern, a regret, a story you've told yourself for years. No need to speak it out loud. Just offer it silently into your hand and trust that it's being received. Some people visualize the energy as smoke, dark and wispy, lifting up from the chest and settling into the palm. Others imagine it as tension melting from the body and absorbing into the grains. There's no wrong way to feel it. What matters is that you do, because when you do, you're no longer imagining change. You're participating in it. Stay here for as long as you need. Don't rush to the next step. This part matters. It's where resistance begins to leave your body. It's where clarity enters. It's where your hands stop gripping everything tightly and begin to shift into receivers. And that's what this ritual is truly about, not forcing results, not chasing wealth, not manifesting endlessly, but becoming the kind of person who knows how to hold less so they can receive more. So stay with it. Let the substance do its job. Let your body relax into that quiet, tender release. You don't have to figure anything out right now. You don't have to feel dramatic change. You just have to stay with yourself for this one moment and allow something small to begin the process of something big. This is where the noise starts to quiet. This is where the story starts to shift. And it all begins with a handful of something ordinary, holding space for everything extraordinary you're ready to let go of. Step 3, drop it in the water. Listen to the quiet crackle. Now comes the moment where release becomes real. You've held your intention. You've let the weight of what no longer serves you rest in your palm. And now it's time to let it go, truly go, not in theory, not as an idea, but in a sound, a sensation, a small, quiet act. Open your hand and let the substance fall into the water. Don't toss it, don't rush it, just release it. Let it slip from your palm like you're finally done gripping something that's been clenched in your life for too long. And listen, not for a big sound, not for something loud or dramatic, just the soft crackle as it hits the surface. A gentle fizz like a whisper breaking apart the silence. That sound matters. It may seem small, but in rituals like this, the smallest shift is often the most powerful. That crackle, that soft, almost invisible noise isn't just the substance dissolving. It's the moment your intention meets the physical world. It's the sound of energy changing form. You gave something heavy a place to go, and now it's going. Watch as the water responds. Notice how it clouds, shifts, absorbs. Let your eyes stay on that bowl, not because anything magical is happening, but because this is what it looks like when something unseen begins to move. You are witnessing your own willingness to release. It's easy to overlook the importance of moments like this. We're taught to chase big changes, loud results, instant feedback. But here in this bowl there is no fanfare, no fireworks, just silence stirred slightly, and that's enough, because healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a sound only you hear, a soft crackle, a deep breath, a pause. As the water begins to settle, imagine everything you just released resting there. You don't need to revisit it. You don't need to justify it. You certainly don't need to hold it anymore. It's in the water now, held, contained, and slowly it's dissolving. This isn't about removing all your problems. This is about removing your need to carry them alone. You're not broken. You're just clearing space. And this water, warm, open, ready, is your witness. The most powerful part of this ritual isn't the action. It's the awareness that you can let go, that you can release things in small ways and still feel a shift, that you don't have to wait for some massive life event to say, "I'm done with this." You can say it with a handful of something simple. A bowl of warm water, and a sound only you were quiet enough to hear. Let that crackle echo for a moment longer in your mind. Let it mark the turning point. You held the weight, you named the truth, you dropped it into something bigger than you, and now it's not yours anymore. From here, the ritual changes, from letting go to letting in. But don't rush forward just yet. Sit with the quiet. Trust that something has already shifted, not loudly, not visibly, but fully. This is how energy moves, quietly, personally, subtly, and now you're ready for what comes next. Step 4, stir gently, circles, open pathways. Now that the weight has left your hands and the water is holding what no longer belongs to you, there's one more movement that matters, not for the sake of ceremony, but for what it stirs in you. It's simple. You place your hand in the bowl and begin to stir, not to mix, not to agitate, just to shift the current, slowly, deliberately, in a circle. That circle isn't just a shape, it's a language. It says, "I'm ready for flow." Circles have always meant continuation, wholeness, return. They don't end. They don't fight. They carry. And as your hand moves through the water in this quiet loop, you're telling life that you are no longer resisting. You are inviting. You are allowing. Let your fingers guide the motion. No need for speed. No need for force. You are not trying to make something happen. You are trying to remember that movement is happening always, even when you can't see it. With each round you stir, picture doors opening. Picture long blocked paths being cleared. Picture money, opportunity, peace, finally finding their way back to you, because now you're not pushing them away, you're circling them in. The water might swirl, then settle, then swirl again. Just like your emotions, just like your beliefs about what's possible. Let them move, let them soften. And while you do, speak softly, if not aloud, then inwardly. I stir in ease. I stir in clarity. I stir in wealth that finds me with grace. This isn't about hoping, it's about harmonizing. Your movements, your breath, your presence, they are aligning. That's how energy starts to follow, not when you force, but when you invite with rhythm. The circle reminds you that things come back, that even what was lost can return, reshaped. That what feels far away, money, security, joy, can make its way home when the current is right. And right now, you're creating that current. Feel the water shift beneath your hand. Let it ripple out like quiet permission sent into the world. You are not stuck. You never were. You were just paused. And this stirring is how you begin again. Let the movement be your message. Let the circle be your signal. And trust that something is already starting to come toward you. Step 5, wash your hands like you're preparing to hold light. Now that you've stirred the energy, shifted the current, and opened the space, it's time to touch the water, not to rinse away the past, but to ready yourself for what's coming. Place your hands gently into the bowl. Let them rest there. Let them feel the warmth that's still waiting, still holding everything you've just released. This part isn't just about washing. It's about returning to yourself. You're not scrubbing away dirt. You're clearing a pathway through your own resistance. You're softening the parts of you that have been bracing too long, against fear, against lack, against the quiet belief that maybe abundance just wasn't meant for you. Move your hands slowly. Feel the water run between your fingers, across your palms, over your knuckles. Let it wrap around you, not like something to escape, but like something to trust. This is a moment of permission. You are saying yes, not to everything, not all at once, but to the possibility that things can feel lighter, that good things can arrive without struggle. As your hands move through the water, say something simple. Whisper it or hold it inside. It doesn't need to sound perfect, it just needs to feel true. I wash away what I no longer need. These hands are ready to receive. I welcome clarity, ease, and quiet fortune. And believe it not in a loud, forced way, but in that small, steady way you believe in sunrise even before it comes. This act may feel quiet, even ordinary, but something important is happening. Your hands, your tools for working, creating, giving, are being retuned to receive. Visualize them glowing, not with light you have to generate, but with light you're finally allowing in. Not flashy, not blinding. Just soft, steady, honest. Like the first light of morning that slips across the room before you even open your eyes. That's what you're preparing for. Not a windfall, not a miracle, just a new kind of ease. Because once your hands know how to release and you've made space for stillness, they become magnets, not by force, but by readiness. And wealth, true wealth, the kind that includes peace, alignment, enoughness, always moves toward readiness. So take a breath. Let the water do what it knows how to do. Wash slowly with intention. And when your hands feel lighter, calmer, clearer, lift them gently. That's the feeling of preparation. That's what it means to wash your hands like you're preparing to hold light. Step 6, dry, gently seal the shift. You've stirred, you've washed, you've let go. Now it's time to close gently. Slowly lift your hands from the bowl. Let them drip for just a moment. Watch the water fall, not as something you're losing, but as something that has carried weight away from you. Let it go drop by drop. And when you're ready, reach for the towel, the one you placed with care at the beginning. This part is quiet but important. It seals the shift, not with words, not with affirmations, but with attention. As you dry your hands, let the motion be slow, soften into it. Don't just wipe the water away, feel each finger, each palm, each space between. Imagine you're not just drying skin, but confirming something has changed. that what was heavy has been released, that what's next can now find its way to you. The towel matters not because of what it is, but because of what it represents. You chose it. You set it aside for this moment. It is now part of the ritual, a physical marker of closure. As you press it gently into your skin, remind yourself that this is not about cleansing anymore. It's about claiming. You are no longer just removing something. You are receiving what's left: clarity, peace, and space. Imagine your hands wrapped in light, not blinding, but soft, like a gentle warmth radiating outward, not showy, not performative, just present. That light isn't just symbolic, it's energetic. It's what people feel when they shake your hand, receive your touch, hear your words. When your energy is clear, the world responds differently. When your hands are dry, take a moment before you move on. Let them rest on your lap or over your heart. Breathe into the stillness. No need to think, no need to plan, just witness the pause. This is where the ritual ends, but not where its effect ends. The shift you created doesn't disappear, it lingers, it follows you. It shapes how you carry your day, your tasks, your decisions. If you can, set the towel aside. Don't toss it back into the regular laundry pile, let it rest, just for today. Give it a place of stillness, like a reminder that something quiet and real happened here. Some people fold it and leave it near their bedside. Some drape it over a chair where sunlight can touch it. It doesn't matter where, only that it's kept apart, just for a little while, so that when your eyes find it again later, you remember. Not the ritual, but the way you felt when your hands were clean, dry, and ready. Because that's what this final step is really about. Not drying for the sake of neatness. Drying to acknowledge that something invisible has landed. That you are no longer in the space of letting go, you are now in the space of holding. And when you dry your hands with care, you're not just closing the ritual. You're saying to yourself, I'm ready now. That's enough. That's everything. Part 4, let the water go with reverence. The water you're holding now isn't just water. It's memory, it's energy, it's everything you quietly chose to release. That bowl has done more than hold your hands. It has held your heaviness, your fatigue, your doubts, your fear. So before you move on, before you return to the rhythm of your day, there's one last act to complete. One that doesn't look important from the outside, but seals everything you've done from within. Let the water go. But don't pour it like you're discarding something used. Pour it like you're returning something sacred. You can tip it into the earth if you have access to soil, into a plant, a garden, a patch of ground that feels steady. Or if that isn't possible, pour it down the drain, but do it with full presence. What matters isn't where the water goes, it's how you let it go. As you release it, whisper a word of thanks, not a performance, not a prayer, just a simple acknowledgement. Thank you for holding what I couldn't. Let your body soften as the water leaves, let your mind feel lighter. You are no longer carrying what you walked in with, you've passed it on, and the ritual knows how to carry it away. This act may seem small, but symbolically it matters. It's the difference between almost letting go and actually letting go. Between thinking about change and standing inside of it. You're not just emptying a bowl, you're closing a chapter. And by doing so, you're signaling to the world and to yourself that the energy you've shifted is not something you intend to pick back up. Notice how the space feels different now. Quieter, clearer, like the room itself is exhaling with you. There's no need to rush, no need to clean up quickly and move on. Let the moment linger for just a breath longer than you normally would. This is where the ritual becomes real, not in what you do, but in how you allow the afterglow to stay. This is the part most people skip, and this is the part where integration happens, where the body catches up with the intention, where energy settles into its new pattern. Let it. Because once the water is gone, once the towel is folded and your hands are dry, you will return to your world, but you won't return the same. You'll notice it in subtle ways, the tone in your voice, the calm in your decisions, the way you respond when something unexpected shows up. You won't be perfect, but you'll be different, because you made space for something softer to lead. And all of it began with your hands, and a bowl, and a moment you decided to treat as sacred even if no one else ever saw it. That's enough. That's everything. Part 5, want to make it even more powerful. You've done the most important part. You showed up. You took time, you moved slowly, you released with care. That alone shifts energy in ways no one else can measure, but you can feel. But if you want to let this ritual echo a little longer, ripple a little deeper, there are small, intentional choices you can make that don't add more steps. They simply hold the space open a little longer. After the ritual, resist the urge to jump right back into noise. No emails, no headlines, no errands if you can help it. Give yourself 10 more minutes to sit, to sip tea, to walk barefoot through your home. Let your nervous system land in the calm you just created. That space is where clarity finds you, where ideas rise without force, where solutions float to the surface. If you journal, write one line, just one, not a recap, not an analysis, just a note to your future self. I felt clear today. I felt peaceful at 10:12 a.m. I remembered who I am when I'm not rushing. These small sentences become markers. You'll look back on them when things feel foggy and remember, I can return here. You can also carry the ritual with you into objects. Maybe you wear a simple ring that day, a piece of jewelry that becomes a touchstone. Maybe you place a coin or smooth stone in your pocket, not for luck, but to remind your body, your breath, how it felt to be still, to let go, to stir gently, to welcome something new. And finally, repeat. You don't need to do this every day. That would be noise. But once a month, on the 15th, it becomes rhythm. And rhythm is what builds change, quietly, softly, deeply. The more often you return to it, the less effort it takes. Your body will remember. Your energy will shift faster. Your mind will resist less. You are not chasing wealth. You are clearing space for it. You are not manifesting louder. You are listening better. And the quieter you get, the more clearly it knows where to find you. So come back next month. Sit again, stir again, wash again, and trust, gently, fully, that every time you do, more of what you need is already on its way. Final, if you're still here listening, breathing with me through these final moments, thank you. Thank you for giving yourself the time, the stillness, the courage to try something so simple it might have been easy to overlook. But that's the truth about change. It almost never begins with the big things. It starts in the quiet, in the barely noticed, in the way you choose to wash your hands with care instead of habit, in the way you pause for 5 minutes on the 15th of the month and treat that moment like it matters, because it does. We didn't talk about magic today. We talked about presence, about energy, about the nervous system's ability to soften when given just enough warmth and rhythm. Science shows us that rituals reduce cortisol, improve clarity, and increase emotional regulation, not because of what we do, but because of how we do it. And this ritual, this act of warm water and quiet motion, is simply a structure, one that lets your system exhale, one that tells your body, we're safe now, we can open again. And when you're open, wealth knows how to find you, not because you shouted, not because you begged, but because your energy stopped blocking the very thing it longed for. That's the quiet work we did today, and it matters more than you know. So to you, the woman watching this with tired hands and a quiet hope she barely says out loud, I see you, you're not late, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. You've made space, you've softened your grip, and that is more than enough. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. May this ritual carry you through the days ahead with ease. May your hands remember the weight they've let go of. And may your next yes come gently, quietly, just like this water did. Until next time, stay soft, stay open, and trust what's meant for you is already making its way.